Well, you've heard of Sitecore XP, XM, XC. We are the X team, bringing you a submission for the category of a new marketplace Sitecore site. So this year we wanted to build a marketplace site, and our objective was a marketplace site that has an effective search experience to make it easy to find modules. We wanted to simplify the upload process and editing process of the modules submitted. And we wanted to leverage GitHub. There's some features there like the ratings and recency of commits that we wanted to pull into the site. And we wanted to do all this, of course, using as many Sitecore features as we could. So to start it off, we used Sitecore 9 form to make a submission. So once you're logged in, you can add your GitHub URL. We wanted to encourage open source modules, so we are having the entry point be through a GitHub URL. I'll go ahead and paste one in here. An optional documentation URL if you want to go somewhere else for documentation or a wiki of your own. Put in a title for your module, an optional summary if you'd like to put in some notes here. Names if you'd like. Some tagging to help for search. Product line, you can have different options if you want to do Sitecore Commerce or Experience Accelerator, JSS. It'd be nice to have a need to start categorizing by these different product lines. And then we submit the form. And now that's submitted on its way to a workflow to be approved and promoted to the public site. Let's take a look at what that form looks like. So here it is in Sitecore Forms, all the fields defined. We have a second page for the thank you message in a multi-step form. And on the submit button, we have a custom save action here. And what we wanted to design for is for a scaled production environment, so that if you're submitting to a CD, it'll put it in the event queue and then be picked up by the CM to be added to the master database. So now that it's going to make its way into Sitecore, we can see it here in the Sitecore tree. So in addition to using Sitecore Forms, we're also using Sitecore Experience Accelerator to build our site scaffolding and rendering engine. So we can see that the new items are going to be placed right in here. Here's our new item that we just submitted. So we can see our form data that was submitted here. And one thing we want to do is keep track of tagging, versions, product features. But another nice feature we can do is we've stubbed in the core text auto tagging, and that works well with SXA. So here are some tags that have been dynamically created. But in order to create the tags, we need some content. So we wanted to get an easy way to get a lot of effective content for these modules, and we thought we could use the GitHub README file and pull that into Sitecore. That would allow us to get a lot of good tag words related to this module without having the author to duplicate their documentation. So we wanted to do an integration, so we thought we'd use Sitecore Data Exchange Framework. So we went ahead and created a new Data Exchange Framework provider, set up the endpoints. We want to pull it from Sitecore using the GitHub URL provided from the author. So from the simple input of the GitHub URL, we can parse out the information we need to pull information from that repository. So here in the provider, we've defined the endpoints. We've implemented a troubleshooter in the data exchange framework, so we can see that we can successfully talk to GitHub using their API. We have a limit of 60 requests per hour, so it is a little slow for the anonymous API, but it gets us what we need and it can run overnight. So with that mapping in place, our item will get a few fields. It'll get the content here from the README file, and with this content here, we can run the Cortex tagging on it. And this will dynamically add tagging to this item. Just remember that you do need to click off of the item and then click back on to see the tags. And now we have more keywords to hit against for our search results. We can also pull in stars from the GitHub repo and recent activity within the last 14 days to boost different repos that are getting more traffic and attention. So for the search results, we decided to use the SXA search feature. So here we're showing all the different modules that have been uploaded and approved, and from here we can search and choose different modules. So let's try some keywords. If I knew I heard of a module called lens, I could search for that, and here it's doing a partial match on lens. But maybe I just want a tool that helps me see solar as I'm troubleshooting in a production environment. Look at that. I can also get this tool even though all I provided was my GitHub repo and a title, which didn't have anything to do with solar. But if I click through to the detail page, I can see from the README file that there's mentions of solar in GitHub. And this is pulling the README file straight from this GitHub URL. So here we can see, clicking over to the GitHub, that's just pulling this README file. One other thing I wanted to show is in the search page from SXA, we have a setting for the search results to use a scope. This allows us to filter by type and location, but it also allows us to boost. So if we look inside a related item here, we can see that under settings and scopes, we can specify boosting rules. So we can use that GitHub data of the star value and boost ones that are star 5 to show higher at the top. So I hope you've enjoyed the module. We were able to combine a lot of different features of Sitecore, from Sitecore forms, custom remote events, SXA, Cortex for automatic tagging, data exchange framework with an API integration, and SXA search for boosting. Thanks for the competition. Thanks. Bye. So we had a great year. We really appreciate the event and everyone that participated. Have a great year.